everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Tuesday Talks. Today we will be taking a fun learning tour of the city of Helsinki. So it's a walking tour, and we have with us some of our future astronaut trainers who have come from all around the world to join in our training. So without further ado, let's find out what today's activity is all about and where we are going.
Sanna, could you tell us a little bit about the activity we are doing today?
Okay, so the activity that we're doing now after we started our walking tour in Helsinki is looking at the sites that we have been stopping by and thinking how we could implement those sites into a field trip that we take with our children, these early years kids, and figuring out how to connect that to the life skills that we're letting the children learn or the curricular objectives that we might have for our kindergartners. We're also looking at how to then maybe bring ideas about those sites and the functions in those sites into our classroom. So we're talking about broadening the learning environment, like a complementary extension to the actual learning environment that we go to every day. Is a city tour like this or a field trip to a specific place in the city. In Finland and Helsinki, we're so lucky to have these places that are actually also planned for children, or certain activities in these locations are welcoming children, so that's a fantastic thing. But still, living maybe in the northern parts of the country, you can't have access to these sites. So what we also need to be thinking about is how do we then help the children start recognizing places like a theater or a National Gallery or the Central Railway Station, and what kinds of functions are going on there, and then bringing components of those sites to the children, maybe via technology, video or Skype connection, or just reading about them or talking about them, or having a version of a market square in our kindergarten. So what we're doing now is talking about what life skills are connected or can be connected to the activities in these sites, and which curricular objectives or knowledge items could we have the kids learn while we're visiting one of these locations or sites.
And in this city walk, we're also integrating two themes in a sense, because this is part of our future astronaut program training, but also it's in the theme of the city of Helsinki where we are. So there is also two interesting points about this city walk.
Yes, and those actually are connected in the sense that both are about exploration. So exploring the broader environment is like a space trip for the children. The children, it's totally new for the youngest kids, so they're exploring, they're sensing, they're maybe for the first time walking on cobbled streets, or facing the traffic lights, or taking a tram ride or a train ride. So it's like a shuttle for the young child. So what this is an exploration as it is for astronauts. So we're trying to help the children enter into something totally new. But because we're also able to plan and pre-prepare these visits or activities in the kindergarten, as educators we can connect this phenomenon or the theme to the learning objectives that we have, and we can connect it through the life skill activities that we can be thinking about and planning while we plan our visit or walk or activity at school. Trying to think of, if we brought the children here, what would they be seeing and what would we want them to learn? We had some dogs passing us. How are they careful about the dogs? Did we cross a street or not? How do they react there? How do they walk, maybe in pairs or in line? What are they seeing? And then the trains, we talk about traffic, so that they have a real experience and hopefully also are able to take a little train trip or something with them. other thing that we want to think about is like, how do we talk about traffic in school? Should we have some activities in school that reflect that we're seeing here, so that we can help the children learn about how the infrastructure and traffic works? So in a way, we're looking at this from two perspectives. Yes, this is the central railway station of Helsinki. Here we have the National Theatre of Finland, the building, grey building with a red roof. And in front of it is our national author, his statue. So if we think of theatre, National Theatre, then we have the literature guy, and here we have the National Gallery of the country, so visual arts. We have the dramatic arts, literature, and then like fine arts. Here, all sorts of things that we want children to learn about. If we take them to the theatre, that's one thing. If we take them to the National Gallery, what do we learn here? What kind of opportunities are there for children to learn, and what do they learn? If we think of fun learning, and if we think of life skills and our curriculum. And of course, literature is one big thing that we should be constantly learning about with the children. So it's learning about those different arts, but also learning to make art and create. Do we use these facilities and these places for inspiration, or pure enjoyment, or both? And how do we plan? So it's interesting to see these not as only like destinations for field trips, but how do we implement these destinations, or the thought of these types of destinations, into our curriculum? And again, how do we have them visualized maybe in the classroom? We can use digital devices to connect to places. We can use pictures, we can use stories, or we can discuss. We can do art, and we can present, and we can play, and we can write, and we can tell stories. But like, how do we connect these destinations to early childhood education is the question to think about. We have the Helsinki University main building here, also university buildings behind us, so we're quite at the center of the main part of university. And of course, what we should be talking about when we think of the little children, do little kids have access to experts? So what if the children are talking about, space, for example, in our case, why wouldn't we connect the children to some people, scientists who know about space, maybe visiting the kindergarten, or a Skype session or a call with some experts? So why don't we have the children have direct access to the experts of any scientific or even art topic that we're connected to? So we should try and find good and dialogue-like connections to universities to serve our little children and to inspire interest, and also slowly get all of our children to understand that everyone should have access to high-quality education, and everyone can, so that none of the children that we work with ever think that that's not for me. It used to be so, but now there are different ways in the world to try and get an education. Maybe not officially, but there's access to knowledge, and there's an access to education in different ways than before. So let's get them all hungry for learning more, and I think connections to universities could be part of it. So it makes sense to stop here and think about this as well. Senate Square, and that's our cathedral. And again, that's the university building and government house. So from the perspective of how the world works, we have religion here, and we have the university, and then we have the government. And then, of course, the commercial shopkeepers and everything. So this, in a way, is one example of all different kinds of functions that we have in a society. the market square, so this is kind of obvious, like what kind of things do we want the children to be learning in a place like this, where we see a lot of healthy nutrition around, vegetables, wonderful, really sweet berries, and then also about shopkeeping and like city infra and all kinds of different things. And this is also a melting pot for the tourists, so we see people from different countries and are able to say hello and have a few words with people coming from different parts of the world. So it can be also a cultural experience. But everything that we're seeing today during this this walking tour in Helsinki for our little future astronaut students, the little children, this is a tour into the unknown, as it would be for a tourist, but for the children even more so, because they have maybe not experienced any of these sites or any of the functions that we're visiting. But the marketplace is definitely something to learn from, and let's again think about what can we bring from the marketplace to our kindergarten to be able to learn something about these same qualities and same products and same activities there. So one of our stops, and the idea with this is to think about different kinds of roads and streets and alleys and passages for traffic and pedestrians, and how are they different and why. So helping the children understand how we construct a city and why is this street like this, and why are cars on a different kind of street. So looking at the environment from the perspective of how do people flow and how does traffic flow and how does transportation flow. So this is just to think about that.
Learning Tuesday Talks, and we hope you enjoyed the tour as much as we did. Please remember to follow us on Facebook and like us. Also hop on over to our Fun Learning Facebook group, where we will upload more still pictures of the wonderful journey we took and the things we discovered. So see you next week and have fun learning.